So we're going to discuss a few issues that are common to SMG failures. One of the first things to check will be the Salmon Relay. We'll just take this covering here off. And then we'll look over in here. And it'll be this relay right here. This is one of the biggest and easiest and cheapest failures to fix. Mine cost $35 from the dealership. Another thing to check is this fuse right here, the 40 amp fuse. Pull that out, check to see if it's blown. That could be an SMG pump failure. So to properly narrow down everything, instead of just throwing a whole bunch of money at everything, you will need a special either BMW scan tool or you will need some diagnostic software. These little cheap scan tools, these will not work for BMWs like this. They will only maybe pull simple codes but not proprietary codes. You're going to need, if you use software and not a really expensive tool, you're going to need this USB to OBD port connection, and I used INPA software. So this is what it looks like after you have it all loaded. I will note for this software, it says you need Windows XP, and I really suggest you use Windows XP because I tried to use Windows 10, would not work. I think I've heard of people using Windows 7. If you can get to work, great, but it will save you a lot of headache for just using Windows XP. This is an original VAIO, and it's working just fine. This thing hasn't been turned on in 4 years until I finally turned it on just to load this software. Works perfect. So I don't have the car hooked up because the battery's completely dead. I've already narrowed down my problem. Mine is most likely the pump, unfortunately. But this is what it looks like. And you'll need to go in here, and what I did was I read the engine codes, I cleared them all. I read the transmission codes, I cleared them all. Then I checked to see which codes came back. The only thing that came back was in the SMG gearbox, and it was code 59. Code 59 is the clutch actuator code, which could be a handful of problems. So as for narrowing it down a little further, some things you can check are, as I mentioned earlier, the relays, but also you can check, it could be the slave cylinder, it could be the gear positioning sensor or GPS, it could be the hydraulics pump temp sensor also. Or it could be the pump itself. For me, it's the pump itself. In another clip, you're going to hear me referring to it as the PLCD, but that's the GPS, the gear positioning sensor. I was calling it the PLCD because that's what they called it in something else when I was first troubleshooting all of mine. If your car doesn't start, unplugging this will allow you to start the car. So a brief rundown of my symptoms. Turn the car off because it had an issue. Car never started again. After I got towed back, I started trying to troubleshoot. I finally got the car to start. It had this really high-pitched whine or squeal, whatever you want to call it. It's pretty much the pump failing. Hopefully yours is something else. So I'll show you a clip of how to unplug that one sensor so at least you can get your car fired. So you have to get the car up in the air. I want to note that that jack is just here for safety. It is not in any way holding the car up. All it's doing is stopping the car from moving at this point. So you'll get under the car. I'll try to orient you a little bit. So when you get under here, the exhaust, you'll have a panel that comes across here. So all you'll do is it only has like I think 5 or 6 bolts. You'll take that off. There you can see your fuel filter. And then we'll orient up in here so you can kind of get an idea of where everything is. So we're up in here. You can see your transmission. You can see over here you have your SMG hydraulic lines,
and then you'll see a handful of plugs. And I already have this one unplugged. But if I can get the light good, you'll have this sensor right here, the bottom one, and then you'll have this top one over here. The top one is the PLCD sensor, and you'll just grab it. It's got pull tabs on the sides, and you'll just pull it off and pry it away.
Last thing, if you do have to replace the pump, they're usually about $5,700 USD to replace, parts and labor. Most shops won't replace with used parts. You have to use new ones with most shops. If mine turns out to be the case, I'm going to be doing mine on my own, and I will film it and upload that as well. So hopefully in the next couple weeks you'll be able to see mine. Good luck, and if you found this video helpful, please like and subscribe. Thanks for watching.